You might be asking why I chose to send a data message instead of a notification message. After all, I ended up needing to make a notification manually. Well, here are the differences that we talked about before between the two. And there's actually a few more that I should add about the app's behavior in the foreground versus the background. With data messages, onMessageReceived is triggered when the app is in the foreground or the background. For notification messages, we already know that when the app is in the background, it shows a notification. Now, if the app is in the foreground, and we've also set up a Firebase messaging service, it will trigger onMessageReceived in the same way as a data message. I should note that there's also a third option where you can have an FCM message that contains both a notification portion and a data portion. This type of message can't be sent from the Firebase console. It will also behave like a notification message. If the app is in the background, it will show a notification, but it will not trigger onMessageReceived. The notification will also have extras in the intent. And if the app is in the foreground, it will trigger onMessageReceived, assuming that you have a Firebase messaging service. So if you find yourself ever building a server and you need to decide what type of FCM message to send, you can follow these tips. If you're going to need to run some code, whether the app is in the background or the foreground, you should use a data message. For example, let's say that you want to trigger an email sync whenever there's a new email. A data message could do just that. Now, if you'd like the system to show notifications on your behalf, use a notification message. Note that you can optionally run some code, but only if the app is in the foreground. An example of when you might want to use a notification message is if you're releasing a new mobile game. And let's say that throughout the year, you're going to have sales on these chip objects that your players use to play your mobile game. You'll notify users about the sales using notifications. Now, you can't know exactly how the marketing team will want to format these notifications or what you'll want to put in them. Instead of using a data message, which will require both control over a server and for you to write extra code in your app, you can instead use notification messages. As long as you have the correct Gradle dependency, these messages will work. In addition, you can leverage things like analytics stored in Firebase about who's playing your game to send messages to a particular population of users. So here's the final breakdown of tips. In the case of Squawker, I decided to go with a data message. This is because I wanted the new Squawk to be added to the database, regardless of whether the app was in the foreground or the background. In conclusion, whether the incoming message is a data message or a notification message is determined by whoever built the server. So in the case of Squawker, as I've already mentioned, I built the server and I chose a data message. And in the case of the Firebase console, the engineers at Google chose to send a notification message.